Thank you, Marina. Thank you for inviting us to your offices today. Would you like to give us a bit of an introduction about your career today and what you do?
Yes, I'm Shopper and Category Insights Manager. So I work in Category and Shopper Insights, basically getting these two together to deliver for the retailers and for the company. I've worked in, actually I didn't begin my career in Category, I began in consultancy. I'm from Brazil.
Yeah.
I moved to the UK and then there was a career shift. And I've worked then for MCG companies in other areas like shopper marketing. Marketing ended up making the move to Category. And then different categories I've worked in, so personal care, household, and now currently in healthcare.
So what areas of the business have you transitioned from, and what have you enjoyed about moving around different sides of the business?
I think it's quite important for a category manager to be able to have some experience in other areas, because you'll be working quite closely with them and working together with them. So I've actually already worked a little bit in marketing and quite a lot in shopper marketing to be able to then transition to category. And my plan is to have now a secondment in the commercial side of the business, so in sales, to also be able to understand basically the expectations, the demands, or what the objectives of the area are, to be able to even to grow as a category manager. So the transition is quite nice because you get to understand what the goals and the pressure of each of the areas are, and you can bring them together to your category recommendations to the retailer, and kind of making all the stakeholders happy and aligned to deliver the objective, which is growth for the category, retailer, the company, and so yes.
And what made you want to work in customer insight?
At the beginning of my career, I never expected to work in category, and when I moved to FMCG, actually, I'm going to work in marketing, and then I ended up moving to shopper marketing, and then I ended up coming to category.
Okay.
And but now it is the area that I really like and that I know I want to work in. So it actually surpassed my expectations. What I liked about it is that you have to be quite detail oriented in terms of analyzing data, making that into insights. But once you are able to get all of the information, make it into something useful, you need to use that for a broader view, for a very strategic view of the category, of the retail, what is good, or what is good growth for the retailer, for the company. So it's being able to combine these two things, being quite detailed and analytical with having to have a very strategic view. I think that's really what I like about category management, and it's quite interesting.
As a customer insight manager here at Pfizer, obviously you have a very high pressured role. What kind of coping mechanisms do you have that you could share with the people today?
I think it's all about trying to be as organized as possible, and so knowing what you have to do in advance, organizing all the steps that you have to go through. If it's a retailer meeting that you've got, what data do you need to pull for that? What type of information the retailer wants to see.
So in terms of your role, Marina, what do you think are the top 3 skills you really need to perform really well in the role?
I think you need to be quite detail oriented. You obviously need to be quite analytical and be able to work collaboratively.
Obviously you've talked about being very detail orientated and being data analytical, but that piece around collaboration, could you elaborate a little bit more on that one?
It's basically being able to, as a category manager, you can't work alone, because for you to grow the category, you need to know what the shoppers want, what the retailer objectives are, and obviously what the company's views are on category and on the brands they work with and commercially. So you need to be able to work collaboratively with all these teams inside the company, and also be quite aware of the retailer wants and needs to be able to basically draw the best recommendation and a very robust strategy that you can deliver. So I think working collaboratively is just being sensitive of everyone's needs and goals and strategies as well.
So what do you think are the most exciting developments that are currently happening within your field?
I think digital is a pretty obvious and big thing that is happening. The retail landscape is changing massively. not only in the way, the main thing is the way shoppers interact with the retailers and the way they buy things. So it's a change in channels they buy in. We now have Amazon being such a big player in the market, especially in some specific categories. And we also see how we can use that, how some of the digital part of the business became quite important for some retailers. For example, Boots.com is quite a big thing for Boots, and they want to develop that. And how you do that is quite different from how you do, I think, category management on the bricks and mortar side of things. And this is quite a development. We also need to learn together how to reach shoppers in a better way in these new channels, and how they approach these new channels, how they buy in there. And it's quite interesting, and it's a big, massive change. And what I'm talking about, like Boots.com or Amazon, are things that are already, we know they're there, but there are lots to come that are quite like blue sky thinking that we might not even be aware of. And we need to be prepared for that and know how to manage those.
And finally, can you finish off the sentence? A career in category management is?
A career in category management is exciting, it's ever-changing, and it's very strategic for any business that wants to add value to the business and to its customers, shoppers and consumers.
Thank you.
Thank you.